European Central Bank Governing Council member Klaas Knot warned that increasing geopolitical tensions and the rise of trade barriers are creating new economic risks and could make it harder to address future shocks to the global financial system. Knot pointed to recent developments, including a U.S. presidential debate where tariffs were frequently mentioned as signs of a growing trend towards protectionism. He noted that trade barriers are rising in several parts of the world, which could pose significant challenges to global economic stability. The Bank of England lowered interest rates to 4.75% from 5% on Thursday, marking only the second rate cut since 2020. The decision, made by an 8-to-1 majority, signals that future cuts are likely but will gradual. The bank cited higher inflation and growth expectations following the new government's budget. The budget, which includes significant increases in taxes, spending, and borrowing, is expected to boost the United Kingdom's economy by 0.75% next year, but have little long-term impact on growth.
Office of Budget Responsibility and indeed the Bank of England forecast today shows that the economy is growing, interest rates and inflation are coming down. That is a world away from the last Parliament, which was the worst Parliament on record for living standards. Inflation reaching more than 11%, interest rates spiking after the mini budget and growth stagnant too.
In Germany, Chancellor Olaf Scholz fired his finance minister, saying it was necessary to prevent harm to his country. The firing followed days of intense political negotiations between the key figures in Germany's ruling traffic light coalition, Chancellor Scholz of the Social Democratic Party, Finance Minister Lindner of the Free Democratic Party, and Economy Minister Habeck of the Green Party. The move comes amid growing concerns that a potential Trump administration could worsen Germany's already struggling economy. In the wake of the announcement, Lindner's FDP declared it was leaving the coalition, while Habeck confirmed that the Greens would remain. Scholz expressed that there was no longer any basis for continued cooperation with Lindner, citing repeated breaches of trust and accusing him of prioritizing his party's survival over the broader needs of the government.
Streit auf offener Bühne hat viel zu lange den Blick für das verstellt, was diese Regierung gemeinsam vorangebracht hat. Zu oft hat Bundesminister Lindner Gesetze.
German exports and industrial output declined more than anticipated in September. According to data released from Germany's Federal Statistics Office, exports fell by 1.7% in September compared to the previous months. The foreign trade balance recorded a surplus of 17 billion euros in September, down from 21.4 billion euros in August. The figures came just a day after Chancellor Olaf Scholz's dismissal of his finance minister. Norway's central bank, Norges Bank, kept its policy rate unchanged at 4.50% on Thursday, the highest level since 2008. The bank emphasized that a restrictive monetary policy is necessary to bring inflation back to target within a reasonable time frame. Unlike many other Western central banks, which have begun cutting rates, Norges Bank has opted to maintain its stance for now. The bank will release new rate projections and forecasts in December, depending on economic developments. Still on interest rates, Sweden's central bank Riksbanken cut its key interest rate by 0.5 percentage points to 2.75%, marking its largest reduction in over a decade. This was the fourth rate cut of 2024, aimed at supporting the economy and stabilizing inflation. Inflation in Sweden was 1.6% in October, below the central bank's 2% target, while unemployment stood at 8.5%. Riksbanken hinted that further rate cuts could occur in December and the first half of 2025, depending on economic and inflation trends. Moreover, the Czech Republic's central bank cut its key interest rate for the 8th consecutive time, lowering it by 0.25% to 4%, driven by low inflation and a slow economic recovery. The central bank began reducing rates in December 2023, with successive cuts in February, March, May, June, August, and September. The Czech economy grew 1.3% year-on-year in Q3 2024, with a 0.3% increase from the previous quarter. Inflation stood at 2.6% in September, down 0.4% from August.